come I can only see the three of us?
I think Nikki has just her camera is turned off for now, but she is here.
It's Mickey, correct? Because yeah, I
Yes.
don't see Mickey, but I see her up here.
Okay.
Okay, well, no big deal. No big. Hey, ladies, welcome. Let's lay away. So I want to say thank you to you, Yana, first of all, for asking me to do this.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
feel very blessed, and I feel blessed to be a part of this community
Mm,
with other women where we're just open and honest, and we're sharing our journeys of falling down and getting back up, and all of us. You know, what's the expression? The cream rises to the top.
yeah,
Is that
yeah,
the expression? Well, we are the cream and we
yeah.
shall rise to
Amen.
the top. So I'm
Amen.
Andrea, in case nobody knows me. I know that you two ladies know me, but for anybody else that comes on, so my name is Andrea Julia Brunswick, and I'm a Canadian A. I'm over here in the Toronto area. Oh my goodness. So I call myself a creative life strategist because I never really liked the term life coach, and I'll share with you why. And that's been a lot of my own giant that I've had to slay. So I became a life coach. I started my journey in 2004 when I had a life circumstance that could be for another day, but that propelled me into this industry. And I felt like, who do I want to be when I grow up? I was 41 at the time. Yeah, we laugh, but I don't know. Maybe you ladies can relate to that. I didn't feel like I was grown up. And who do I want to be? And what do I want to be? And I heard God say to me, I want you to be a life coach. So I proceeded down that journey. And at the time, my children were young, maybe like 6 or 7. And so Natalie was 7. Ryan was like 11, and they were young, and I was a single parent at this point. I had just become widowed, and I was taking care of my mother who was disabled, and I really needed to, first of all, I very rarely, even at that point in my life, worked for other people. I mean, I did throughout my teenage years and only into my mid 20s. I would have summer jobs as I was going to university and be that JOB person. But then when I was about 25, a friend of my brother said, hey, do you want to do cold calls for us? And they were in the insurance business selling disability and life insurance, and really put the buzz in my ear about commission work. And I was like, what? You mean like I don't have that back then? I don't even know what minimum wage was in Canada. It could have been $5 an hour, whatever. I was like, really? You mean I can make as much money as I want? And that just set me on a path. And I did that really for the majority of my life. Um, I've had a couple of jobs in my adult world, but I knew at this point I needed to have the freedom because I had 2 young kids and I had a disabled mother. So I knew that I needed the time freedom, but that money freedom was really enticing to me. And when I was hearing about the life coaching industry, it was like, oh my goodness, I could have international clients. Like, what? I could be like everywhere and be here and have clients and no matter where in the world. That really enticed me. Okay. Yeah. But then the reality set in. And the reality was I needed to build a business. I didn't go to business school. I went to life school. I got my life certification. They didn't show me in my program how to build a coaching business. And what they said at the time, I don't know if they say it now in coaching programs, but they really drove this point home, 2 of them, that the International Coaching Federation does not smile upon you if you use the term, it's a therapeutic modality, life coaching. Guess what? It is a therapeutic modality. So we knew we couldn't say that. And that kind of like that, as I look back, as I trace back, connecting my dots, and that was one of my giants. And that really, like, how do I say the results my clients are going to receive from me if I can't reference it in terms of healing in therapy. But now, to be more specific with you, when I said I didn't like the term life coaching. So when people, and it might be happening to you ladies, if any of you are in the coaching industry, because I don't want to assume that each and every one of the women that work with you, Yana, are coaches. But people would say, so what do you do, Andrea? And I'd be, oh, I'm a life coach. And then a deer in the headlight. And then I would do my very best to explain the process. I'm here to work with you, to walk beside you, to help you attain your goals so that you are starting to receive the results in your life that you want. Maybe that result is gaining clarity, shifting from a place of confusion. Maybe because my clients came with different issues. Maybe your issue is, you became a widow 2 years ago and you're really stuck in your grief and you don't know how to move forward. Or maybe your issue is the guilt that you carried for a number of years from a fractured relationship. So even though I said I'm going to walk beside you, even though I said I'm going to lead you and facilitate you through a process of your healing and attaining and receiving results, I still got. So it was like that thorn in my side. So here we are today. We're all here to pull out the thorns and to slay the crap out of our giants, like David did with Goliath, okay? And we're going to cut you down to size. So I'd like to, I mean, it's the three of us here for now, but if I could just start, I just started to share with some of my giants. I've had a lot of giants pop up for me over the years, especially not as many, to be truthful, when I was doing my business really just locally, and it was word of mouth. I never had to, really didn't have to tell you anything. They trusted the person that referred them to me. I would do a initial complimentary session because it's important for the coach and the client to be able to connect with one another. But I didn't have to tell them what my offer was. I told them this is how long the commitment is. And over my number of years of coaching, I've switched that around, right? So I would tell them that. I would tell them, the method of payment, and I would tell them the amount that they needed to pay me, and then we would just book them. But when I raised my hand to be an online in this online space, ignorance is bliss, and I was so ignorant. I didn't know what I was saying. Yeah, pick me. Oh, what were my giants? We could list them. Comparitonitis. I started comparing myself, like everything about myself, everything about my business, my website, but you don't have this. Oh my God. And then when landing pages and sale pages became all of the rage, I was like, oh my God. I have said to you many times, Sienna, that I am very technically challenged. And back in the day, yes, you could hire a VA, but my brain, because I was in scarcity and lack mode, thought, I can't afford that. I had already spent at that point maybe about 20,000-ish, a little bit more in my business with different coaches, not getting the results that they or their copy said that I could get. So I felt like I had wasted money. I was limited. So I was holding myself back, thinking I can't show up like them. And then I would say, but all I want to do is coach, which is my truth. This whole marketing, this whole promotional stuff, this whole developing a brand. No, no, please, no. Right? Now, we have people, we could just pay somebody and they can do it for us. Does that mean that we're going to get somebody that's competent? Because I always thought that. I thought, oh, but if I could just hire that coach and I could use their system that they're raving about all of these results, and they've had a 5-figure week and a 6-figure month and a seven-figure launch. And I was getting drowned out and consumed. I literally felt like I was being swallowed by this white noise that's in this online space. I've seen now over the years where it's dissipating a little bit and there is more authenticity. It was really inauthentic for a very, very long time. Coaches in my industry thought if they could have that really, you know, those shots taken out by the Eiffel Tower or in Italy, because there was a big coach you could hire, and that was part of her whole program. She had to fly down there, and she would do these promotional photo shoots, and so people thought if they had all of that in terms of their branding, right? But then you worked with them and you got nothing. Whereas I didn't have the fancy branding, but you worked with me and you got the results that you came, because I'm results orientated. You're going to come to me. I'm not here for your money. If you're going to come and you're going to work with me, you're going to work with me. And if I see you're not ready to do this work, I would rather say, you know what? Here's your money, and you're just not ready. And maybe at a later date and time you will be. And, you know, my door is open. So comparisonitis was my giant.
I want to add to that,
How's this?
Andrea, if I
Oh,
may.
yeah, yeah, please. Oh,
Um,
yeah, go ahead, go
with
ahead.
authenticity, I also see that if you're on your journey and you don't even like yourself, you don't even like what you see in the mirror, you can't show up authentically because you don't like yourself. So if you don't like yourself, you feel like if I show up, then people are going to reject me because I don't even like me. You know, how am I going to get clients if people, you know, if I have to show myself? And I think that's where this imposter syndrome comes from in terms of going live and things like that, is they're looking at themselves, comparing, like you say, and just saying, I don't even like myself. How am I going to convince somebody to like me, let alone buy my services? And in South Africa, we have this unique um, giant that we are with the exchange rate, we are, you know, in a place where everything costs 18 times more than it's supposed to, because
Welcome
our
to
exchange rate
Canada.
is so bad. Yeah, yeah.
And
And
welcome
I
to,
mean, will
that's
people
for the
pay that? And
Canadian.
we can't even think that people will be able to pay that. And for other countries, it's nothing, but for us, it's so much money, and we can't even fathom that people are willing
Yes.
to pay that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that, because you know what? The not liking yourself also can come across very desperate. And you probably have heard this expression, but everything is energy. Everything. And I know I was very much of that whole new age and of the world's new age spirituality with the whole vibrational frequency, but it's talked about in the Bible. Okay. And everything is energy. So that energy of the desperation will come out. Absolutely. What do you think, Yana? You know, when you're speaking with the women in the group, because I'm new to this group, so I haven't really started to form these relationships yet. What do you think some of the women are? What giants face us all?
Yeah. Definitely also the thing of you know, as Christian, we shouldn't be earning money. You know, being rich is something that's
Mm.
maybe a no-no because you're Christian. You're just supposed to survive. You're not supposed to have abundance. Um,
So you're not supposed
Even
to
though the
thrive?
Bible says that a lot. But the Bible says abundance. I want you to have abundance, but many people get stuck on that. They have that money blocks where they feel that
That's very
I should
interesting.
not be successful, or as a woman, I should not work because I'm a woman. And they're still in this hierarchy where they're working under their husbands and they don't want to exceed his income because they feel like, oh, then it's going to upset the hierarchy of the family, you know? So things like that. And also, um, time. Like, when am I going to get time? You know, for me, it's like I've got to homeschool the kids, I've got to run the house, I've got to do everything. When you're a male, it's easy. You just go to work and come back.
Well, because
Everything
the
is done
wife
for
takes care of
you.
everything,
Yeah. But
right?
when you're a
I
wife or a
mean,
mother, you need to take care of the home. You need to make the food. You need to take care of the kids. If you're homeschooling the kids. You're running on a business. So time is definitely a big giant for me. And I think for the clients that I serve as well. So, being efficient with our time. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you said that because I brought that up in the call on Tuesday. For myself, when I listen, this new Christian walk is very new to me. It was towards the end of 2021 that I gave my life to Christ for the first time, and then I regave my life again. I mean, I do it usually every Sunday after I watch church online, but at the beginning of 2022. So it's a fairly new walk for me. And that's quite interesting that you say about the Christians. So I was watching a video the other evening. I started to. I only got a few seconds in because the Holy Spirit gave me a huge revelation. So I've had my own money blocks because I've had my own guilt, and that was due to my husband's passing. Because somewhere in my head, I thought I killed him, and I hung on to that guilt and that shame for a lot of years. And when I came out of a meditation one day, came with the awareness that the reason why I'm struggling is because I feel guilty, so I'm denying myself the earning. Well, I didn't know. So I played, as I said, I played in that world of New Age spirituality and personal development, where abundance is always talked about, where money blocks are always talked about, where, you're just not thinking big enough if you don't want the massive. So there's, in the Christian world, I'm seeing there's a lot of pointing fingers, and you shouldn't, and you shouldn't, and you shouldn't. But let me tell you, in the world, and in the world of business, no, you're too small of a thinker. You should be thinking bigger. We all have to come to a level of really what it is that we want, and we're going to have those things. And I do want to address some of those issues that you had brought up. But as I was saying, sometimes unfortunately with me, it's like I'm dancing and I do a cha-cha-cha. So I'll move forward with what I'm saying, and then I'll move back, and then side to side. But you can follow me, and honestly, I will really make a point to this. So I saw this video about why Christians are broke, right? And I just started it, and then the Holy Spirit spoke to me, and I was like, no, I was broke all the time because I wasn't Christian. I'm new in Christ, and I am a new creature, and that Andrea is dead, and she was crucified and resurrected with Christ, and now I have the dunamis resurrection power within me. So those days of have finally got me, because I would still be reaching back, but I'm going around that same flipping mountain. But I don't need to go around that same mountain because now I'm Christian. Now I'm Christian. So let's dispel a few things, because I didn't start off Christian. I wasn't born Christian. I wasn't born again. I was born Jewish. But I was I was raised traditionally, not biblically. I didn't know that in the Bible, in the Old Testament, that the Father, Hashem, led us with the biblical principles. Now, not for anything, but my whole life I would hear from non-Jews about how, oh, all Jews are rich. I didn't understand why people had these misconceptions, right? Jews control the world. Jews have all the money, the Jews own the bank. And I thought, well, how come I'm not related? And he was like, well, then how come I'm not related to any of them? Because if they do, well, where's my portion? Okay, but now I understand why and where these fallacies have come, because it stems from the Bible. But the Christians that have been my mentors from afar, because I don't know them, like it's pastors and preachers and other ones that I found on my YouTube University, they're always talking about the abundance of health, the abundance of prosperity. Yes, I do hear there's a little bit of that, putting down of those, the other preachers and pastors in the Christian community will then say that they're teaching a false gospel, and you get all of that craziness. But no, we should be rich. And I understand the whole thing, because I think no matter if you're Christian or you're a part of the world and building not for the kingdom, but you're building for the world, as women, we're raised where our husbands should be the bread earners or the major bread earners, and that a woman's income shouldn't really surpass her husband. So I just say to all of you Christian women, it's happening no matter where, and it's being said in the kingdom and out of the kingdom. And it's something that we have to really, I think, and I suggest that you have that conversation with your partner. See, I think it's still, whether it's a Christian community or a non-Christian community, I think we're afraid to have those conversations with our spouses because we're afraid that, you know, we're going to hear something we don't want to hear. Or maybe the spouse is afraid he's going to have to express something that he's been shoving deep down inside. But we need to have these kind of conversations. Listen, it happens in families. Children that are afraid to attain the levels of financial success because their parents didn't achieve that. So there's always going to be something somewhere that's going to want to get in our way. Now that I do this Christian walk, and now that I have learned about the enemy, I think a lot of these things are those familiar spirits, is the enemy coming in and whispering in the BS into the ears of these women. What other giants do you think are floating around in your community, Yana?
I mean, Mickey and Charissa, feel free to jump in here, but I'm thinking like the main thing is feeling unworthy of, earning this much or getting clients or really even just being, for my women that's in ministry, being a woman in ministry is one thing, because
Right.
that's frowned upon. So being a woman in ministry, just being able to say that I'm worth earning dollars. I'm worth earning 10K, 20K, 50K, 100K. Um, what are we worth? What are we worth? And do we believe it in ourselves? I think that's the main thing, is unworthiness, feeling unworthy of
Mm,
success.
the lack of confidence, the
Yeah.
unworthiness. I just can't do this. You
Yeah,
know,
Mickey, what would you add?
I heard this expression many years ago. I went to, it's called the Millionaire Mind Intensive.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever read that book by T. Harv Eker,
Mm-hmm. I've
it got my attention.
downloaded it.
Okay. Well, he's Toronto. He's also a fellow Torontonian. So I don't know. Whenever I find things that are of Canadian, especially Torontonians, it gets my interest. So I go to this, it was like from Friday. Yeah, it was either from a Thursday to a Sunday. I think it was from Thursday. It was like when they said intensive, it was intensive.
Yeah.
And the expression goes like this: how I do one thing is how I do everything.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, smack me in between my two ears.
Perfectionism as well, while you say that.
Yeah. So I had to take a look at. So I remember when I was saying about my comparinitis with other coaches, I needed to trace that back into wherever else. So my feelings of unworthiness showed up in the early stages with my late husband, have shown up as a mother, have shown up as a coach, as a bit, not as the coach in my active coaching, because to be truthful, but God bless you, because I know he's always been there with me. It's never just me showing up as a coach. It's always God showing up with me. When I say as a coach, I mean building the brand as a strong, productive coach. No. So I encourage each and every one of you to take some time, whether it be today or over the weekend, and just, ask yourself, like write it down at the top of the paper. How I do one thing is how I do everything, and start to see where, when, and how that shows up. Like a silly example, you know, um, you have younger children and you need to get them, not homeschooling them, but you're taking them to school? Are your children late to school every day? And maybe you work outside the home while you're showing up late every day to your office. Are you late meeting your friends for lunch? Are you late? Because how I do one thing is how I do everything. And if we start to get in touch with, and we're not doing it because we want to bring any condemnation to ourselves, we really just want to free ourselves from these traps. We set the trap. Yes, our giants are there, no doubt. No doubt about it. We have these external giants that we need to slay, but we also have these giants that we've built up. So a friend of mine, my friend who led me to Christ, I had a lot of stuff going on for a number of years, stuff that I was really embarrassed about. I'm just gonna lay it here because I know, Yana, thank you. You've created a safe space for us, and I feel safe. And I want anybody who's going to listen to this replay, or all of you that are on here, to know that you're safe and it is a judgment-free zone. So I went through a lot of stuff, a lot of traumas, losses, and when I say loss, I mean death, like the finality of loss. And was raising my kids and left no insurance and a lot of debt. And I think it kind of brought up other traumas, other losses. And then my son fell into a bad depression from grief when he was about 17. And it was a very heavy, heavy energy. And because I was, so into New Age and Buddhism and law of attraction and affirmations and all of these different modalities of when I would coach you, those would be, in hypnosis, self-hypnosis, Eastern meditation, that would be the tools in which I would use with clients. I really wanted my son to be using them because as a mother, it was like literally, it was breaking my heart watching my son struggle with this depression. But my son was digging his heels in even more. And then the energy that I felt, this obligation as a mother, like I felt this massive amount of worry and this deep obligation as his mom. I should be able to, you want to just, take stuff away from your children, right? You don't want to see them suffer. But I came to realize, and I am grateful though to the New Age world because it taught me this. That's a fallacy. The worry about worrying, we're not doing anybody any benefit from worrying about them. Okay, that's great to know, Andrea. Yeah, great. There's this major negative energy in my house. What do I do? Well, what I did was, and again, because I didn't know the Bible and I wasn't a Christian, I was entrenched in my New Age. I started to, in a sense, speak life over my son and my daughter. And at this point, my daughter had been hit by a car. And now she was suffering from post-traumatic stress. And my son was in this major depression. I had to allow him to drop out of high school because he just couldn't go. And I couldn't out. You're a homeschool mom, but when you don't homeschool your kids, and here in Toronto, you would get these phone calls, and it would go to my answer. This is Northview Heights, a student in your household, and it was telling me either my son's name or my daughter didn't show up for a period, and I just like I'm losing my mind. I'm getting these kids up. They're walking out the door. Where are they going? Where are they hiding? Because they're leaving, but they're hiding. Or Ryan would feed me lies. He'd come home from school and he'd tell me that such and such a class was canceled. And I guess as a mom who loves her kids, I was so stupid in a good way. I wanted to believe him. So now I've got both of my kids massively struggling and I just want to run. I was a cigarette smoker at the time. And I thought, man, can I not go for cigarettes and just not come home? Like, hey, kids, I'm going to the store. I'll be right back, and pull a Thelma and Louise and just never come home. But no, you can't do that. So what I did was in the morning, before I got out of bed, before I even put my feet down on the ground to go to the washroom, I started to, on an individual basis, speak things into my children that were not. I didn't know that that's counterfeit to what's in the Bible. But if you say things as though they're not, they will become. Started to talk about how, because Ryan stopped talking to all of his friends, I made him keep his part-time job because I said, you have to have something. I'm sorry, sweetheart. Yes, you can leave school, but you need something and you got to stick with this job. Natalie, we found her a new alternative school to go to. I didn't even know if my kids would graduate. I had no idea, and I had to squash that worry because all of my friends' kids at the time were going and doing the university tours and getting acceptance in, and my kids, I felt like they're not going anywhere. So I needed to come to the acceptance and be okay with we all get where we need to get, but we all take a different path. And then, as I said, I started to speak life on an individual. Ryan, I'm so excited how you've graduated and you have all of these new friends and you're thriving. Blah, 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 blah. And I made up my spiel for Natalie. And guess what? Natalie ended up graduating high school and she ended up being accepted into college and she finished her program even early. Ryan ended up going to college. He ended up making friends and both of them were doing really well. And I wish I could say that it just continued and built. But what happened was for me, because I put myself on the back burner as mothers and women do. And Andrea went into a little bit of a nervous breakdown. Natalie, as I said, had been hit by a car. We had a lawsuit going, and I had to keep saying the story because she was a mother. I was her advocate, right? I was her voice. I had to keep repeating that story, repeating the story, and repeating the story. And this went on for almost 4 years until she was now classified an adult and it could be placed in her hands. We were evicted. My business, I just couldn't seem to get the traction. I had this major amount of worry about money. How am I going to do it? Can I do it? And then I kept thinking, Hannah, I'm an imposter. How can I coach you about the chaos in your own home when I have all this chaos in my own home? And I just gave up.
I mean, that's so key because I think the devil, the accuser, comes and he comes to convince you, listen, you're not good enough. You've got problems, you've got issues, you've got no business trying to help anybody else. Sort out your own things first. And I think he comes to accuse us, and then we feel like, oh my goodness, yeah, you're right. I'm not worthy. I've got problems. But anybody in life has got problems. Um, and I think with this thing about worry about money, I think this is also one of the giants my clients face is like it's that chicken or the egg thing is I need to invest in my
Which comes
business.
first?
I need to
Mm-hmm.
invest, but I want to make money first. And I can't make money if I don't invest. So it's like
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can I really make money? Right. Now I had all these clients and then they finished with me. I was coaching them through, but then now I don't have any more. Now I'm back to that feast or famine. But I didn't have the get up and go. But yet when you know certain things, so I didn't know about the things such as the enemy. I hadn't heard about the enemy. I didn't know it was an accuser, right? Because I'm entrenched in New Age. And in the New Age world, everything is placed on yourself. It's all about self, right? I would hear the word, I'd have to say believe. I couldn't even say that I believed in my desires because I felt like I can't do this. And guess what? I can't. And guess what? Now that I'm Christian, I don't need to. Why? because I have an amazing father, because I'm the daughter of a king. And so all I need to do now is place my belief in his word, in his word. It's not about Andrea. He's directing my path. He's directing my steps. And my belief has to go in him and his word. Well, that was freeing to me.
I love that. I love that. Moving that focus from it's me, I have to do the thing, I have to be the success, I have to do this, I have to be victorious in this battle. When you switch over to, my father needs to be victorious in this battle. My father fights on my behalf. I'm a daughter of the king. I rest in him. I'm pursuing this path because it's his will for my life. Then I think
That's right.
it just hits differently. So yeah, Sharissa, Mickey, do you want to mention some of the giants that you guys feel that you need to slay?
Um, oh, sorry.
Hi, Mickey.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to especially when you're as young as me, I don't have a lot of experience in anything really. I mean, finishing school, and I mean, yeah, I'm going to do a certificate next year and everything, but expecting to do a business and start a business based on knowing absolutely nothing, is a very big obstacle to get over it, and you feel so inadequate actually of thinking, oh, can't really do that because I've got nothing. If I was going to be compared to, let's say, the same woman, same age, or let's not say same age, but like 10 years apart, she's probably got an MBA and she's doing so much better than me. Why should you become my client? Why should you come to me and not go to her? So I think that's one of the biggest giants right now.
Do we want to slay it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, first of all, you have youth on your side. Okay. And usually when we have youth, I really want you to buy into this. Okay. So I'm going to tell you something right now. You got balls. You've got what we say in Yiddish is chutzpah. Okay. You take that nerve and you take those balls and you run with it. And especially because you're doing all of this stuff that women my age or your mom's age or anywhere between the two of us are looking for, especially as online women, online entrepreneurs, online coaches. You have what it takes because you and your generation have grown up with this and you have this understanding. And you know what? It's okay that you didn't go to business school because you still have this whole road ahead of you. And as you figure this out, you'll take those courses that you need to. Because the younger generation is finally, amen, buying into the fact that these I didn't push post-secondary on my kids because I was already starting to see what I wasn't liking with the education system. Nobody says just because it's their curriculum means that it is the curriculum. Okay. So as long as you stay learning and you can self-teach and you can self-learn and you can pick which courses and what mentors and where you want to take, no, you have success. It's stamped on your forehead. And that's what you need to just really step into. And you have God, you have Christ.
Amen.
You have God and you have Christ. And you have your youth. And don't ever forget that. I really want you to like marinate in that. Just sit there and go, I have youth. Now, do you have any personal Bible scriptures that
Yes,
speak
I
to
do.
you?
Yeah, I really like one of my favorites is Jeremiah 29, verse 11.
Okay.
Yeah, even though, you think I'm not gonna make it, the Lord's already like planned your story. The Lord's already conquered that problem that you're thinking is unconquered. It's not possible. So I really like that.
Excellent. Excellent. Funny enough, I have Jeremiah 1:9. Okay, because writing, Yana, remember when I started working with you and I said that writing has been an issue for me, being able to take what's in my head and have it come through. The Lord stretched out his hand and he touched my mouth. And then the Lord said to me, behold, hear me. I have put my words in your mouth so that I know what to say when I'm developing my content. Right?
Amazing.
You find your Bible scriptures and you meditate on them.
Mm.
This is not, and this is what I've been doing this time around now, because I don't care that I've been coaching since 2004 and I've had website after website and da-da-da. None of that matters because that's when I was part of the world. And now I'm Christian and everything's different. And why is it different for me? Because this is my Father's business. I'm his employee.
Mm.
It's your Father's business. You're his employee. You're building for the kingdom. You're not building for the world. And you're soaring.
Mm.
And every time the giant tries to come, they want you to picture yourself like David with his slingshot. And you knock them. And you knock them out. Now, was Rome built in a day? No. Can sometimes our giants go away? I think it depends. I do think that sometimes we can have such a strong revelation that it literally, the revelation I had the other day, it literally killed that giant for me. But let me tell you, as much as it looked and felt instantaneous, that's freaking years, man. That's years with that giant. So I say to you, it will be instant. You've got youth. Please, I can't tell you that enough. That there's something so special about when we're younger. We haven't had all those years for that stuff to stick on us and then create layers. And I'm going to be 62 next month. Okay. When I think back to being your age, oh my goodness, like, boom, smash open the doors. Yeah, here I come. Do it. Boom, smash open those doors because here you come. There you come, and you stay there.
Mm.
You stay there. You take up your real estate. Okay? Because you're a force to be reckoned with. Mickey, how are you, my dear? Can you speak? Can you share?
Hello.
Hello.
So I was cooking, so I had to, doing
that's
some,
okay.
yeah,
It's the morning time for me here, and I forget that you guys are like, it's dinner hour for you.
yeah, no, we are running around a bit, but I am listening. I was listening the whole time, and everything that Jana was saying makes absolute sense from a giant in our community of South Africa. And
Okay.
yeah, but for me, I think as a old lady, an older lady, let me rather say, I think it's about confidence because, you were saying that Charissa is young, and that is, the young kids, I can even see the videos that they make, it attracts attention immediately. Whereas if you go on as this old lady, and I think, oh, what does she want now, But that's in my head. That's most probably not even in there. Yes. It's most probably in there. It says, hi, she's got guts or something like that, But in my head, it says, actually, they think you're stupid, But so, yeah, that's
what do you do, Mickey? What's your business? What do you do?
So I'm in the essential oil business. And then I started also the struggles with online.
Is it network marketing that you're doing with the essential oils?
Yeah.
Is it Young Living? Are you with Young Living?
No, with doTERRA.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was struggling to get online presence, and then that's how I got around to get to know Jana. And she actually changed my view about what I'm doing about the oils, because it's more about what is my purpose in life, what do I want to do? And I want to do a lot of things, but the main thing is to work for God, to do something for God, and this is what Jana taught me, is get a purpose, get a program, and work. So I'm busy doing that, and I'm building that program at the moment to touch people, to talk to people, and to take them through the struggles I've been through, and maybe help them to go through their struggle. So it's still a idea at this point, and we're working on it. So I haven't even given any course yet, but it's coming soon. So yeah.
Okay. Well, network marketing, because I've had my go with it and I love it. I love the whole concept. But network marketing will push us out of our comfort zone. And then it starts to bring up the stuff that we didn't even realize was inside of us. And like network marketing, I don't know, different countries feel very differently about it, right? Some countries, like the Pacific Rim, oh my goodness, they embrace it. They embrace that concept. That over here in the West, I don't know about South Africa, but over here in the West, when you say to somebody, I'm in network marketing, I'm like, oh, that pyramid? Oh, that pyramid scheme? I'm like, yeah, okay.
That here as well.
Because traditional business isn't a pyramid at all, with your CEO, your CFO, and then boom, 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 boom. Well, that's not a pyramid. Yeah. Yes. So I get that. I understand that. Do you have a good mentor? Your upline? Do you have a strong upline?
No, actually not, but it's not their fault. I've got an upline.
Can you go sideways? Can you go sideways instead of going up? Is there somewhere you can go?
I actually went right to the top.
Good.
The other day,
okay, good.
I told Jana about it. So he's keeping a close eye on me at the moment. But I also want to do what Jana's doing, because it's not for me just about the oils. And I can see the upline. It's not about the oils. It's about, what do you serve people with?
But that's the thing about network marketing. It's very well-rounded, and that's what they want for you. They use their products or the service as a way for their distributors, but they want their distributors to really be well-rounded in every area, in all of the pillars, in our spiritual pillar, in our family pillar, our financial pillar, our physical pillar, our balance. They want the balance to everywhere. I want to just touch on something that you said in terms of the online presence and the videos. And there's a number of us older ladies. I can't believe I'm not going to say that about myself. My head, I'm always going to be somewhere between 30 and 40, but I know it's not possible.
Yes.
Where I found this woman, her name is Sandra Hart, and she's like 85, and she's had a very strong, could find her on YouTube. She's got a very strong YouTube channel, very strong Instagram, and she does videos and talks about the things. So I'm going to tell you something, sweetheart. There are a lot of boomers, the older boomers. I might get that last tail end of the boomer generation, where they got a really strong presence. And we attract a younger viewership, because the same way I'm attracted to younger people, because I love their courage and the guts and just the life that's in them. The younger ones will look to us because they can feel that maturity. They can feel almost like that motherly big sister, and it resonates. And if you just show up honestly, I just say, just show up honest and just put your stuff out there. I know it can be scary to allow ourselves to be that transparent. If you feel like you're just not ready to be transparent about something specific, then you don't push yourself too hard. But what I've really come to understand in my walk here online, and really even as a speaker, And now that I know about this flippant enemy person,
Mm.
always going to tell us we're not ready. Don't do it. You're
Yeah.
not ready. No, don't do it. You're
Yeah.
not ready. Don't do it. 2015, I love Facebook for the fact that they will bring back our memories, right? When you post.
Yeah.
So, it shows me where I was to where I am now. But in 2015, Periscope, I don't know if you guys had heard about Periscope, but it was an app owned by, I think, who developed, it was either Google and YouTube were owned by this. So I think it was Google and YouTube.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Facebook was just starting with lives. Instagram hadn't even, there was no Instagram at this point. I didn't have a tribe or a community, as they say online, but I knew I wanted to come online because I said I had raised my hand a few years before that. I really wanted to create a strong online presence. So it felt so uncomfortable. I was not uncomfortable with speaking. You can put me in a public place. You can have 100 people, you could have 1,000 people, or I could have one person and I'm okay because I'm talking to people. And you can put me in a conversation thing, like on a podcast, whether I'm hosting it or I'm a guest, because it's in conversation style. But I got to go to my phone and I just have to talk. And I felt like nobody was there. So I needed to trick my head. I used to take I would do it when the kids were in school, and I would bring out my daughter's stuffed animals and I'd put them on the love seat in the living room, and they were like my audience, right? So I could get through this because I didn't feel good and it didn't feel comfortable. But we have to always take one foot and put it in front of another. And eventually all those tiny little baby steps, they turn into giant steps.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm taking tiny steps. You can ask Jana. I'm taking tiny steps at the moment, baby steps, as you call them.
Then you need to reward yourself, Mickey, for that.
Yeah.
Because as long as you're making movement,
Yeah.
as long as you're taking steps, honestly, you're going to get where you need to get.
Yeah.
How do you feel about asking for help from people? For anything, like if you need help with something, are you the kind that will ask or no?
No, sometimes I'll just do it myself. I'm one of those. Yeah.
Okay, why? I'm just curious, if I may.
But I'm learning to ask for help, because if I don't ask, I work myself to death, So no, I'm
And
learning.
here's the thing, you want to develop, you want to get a team, right?
Yeah.
Because you really want to benefit from your compensation plan.
Yeah.
So outside of your why, you're doing this so that you can pull other people up and they can create, right? So Mickey, you're the leader.
Yeah.
And whatever you're struggling with, your team will struggle with.
Yeah, that's very true.
And if you can't ask for help, your team won't ask for help. And then they're going to die a slow death. And you're not going to know why.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head.
Do you network? Are you networking? Are you busy networking?
Yeah. I am, but not as what I'm supposed to do.
Like physically and online? Like balancing both?
Online, but I do the physical one as well.
Yeah.
But not as much as I should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, network marketing. Oh my goodness. I love it. I don't know why people don't get the concept of it. Like, it's such an easy concept to grasp. Like, honestly, like it's you being in it now, it's bringing me back to my network marketing days when I was like, how stupid are people? Like like that's what I was like, I always thought you were so smart, but I don't think you're so smart. Like kind of the same way I feel about American and Canadian politics now.
Yeah.
I used to think you were really smart, but I don't think you're so smart anymore. Yeah.
No.
Is there anything that I can help you with to slay today here on this call? A specific giant of yours?
No, I'm actually you hitting the nails on the heads. And I actually said to Jana yesterday when we had a live, which was a big step for me. And where we're saying that it's so simple. The whole concept is so simple, and you get so mad with people if they can't grasp that concept. How can you not grasp this concept? So
Honestly,
I know exactly where you are and what you mean. So no, I just need to take those baby steps and make them teenage steps, and then eventually giant steps. So I'm getting there very quick. Well,
you are
slowly,
getting
but
there.
yes,
And you have your why written down, like why you chose network marketing. Never even mind the actual company, but have you written out your why for network marketing?
a couple of times.
Okay.
Yeah. But for
Do
me,
you
it's
read it
about
to yourself? Do you read it back to yourself?
no, but I must go and print it and put it up there where I see it daily. That's what I need to do. So
Yeah.
sorry,
Because
my
it needs to become a new belief for you. Like it has to be really entrenched, like almost like the way our blood flows through our veins. It
yeah,
needs to kind of flow like that,
yeah.
so that
But
you
see,
just know exactly why. Because listen, here's the thing. And I don't know if this is your first time doing network marketing or your 100th time doing network marketing, but
third time,
most people, your third time, did you say?
third time.
Yeah. So you've
Yeah.
seen it. People will jump company to company to company. And you've heard this time and time again. They're not purchasing their products, they're buying you.
Yeah.
They're buying Mickey.
I'm realizing that. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Mickey, if there's ever anything, I want you to feel free to reach out. You ever want to just have a conversation? We're all part of this community that honestly, that Yana has created for us. And this is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to lean on one another and
Yeah.
give from one to the other. That's what a community is all about. We're like a family. I hope I'm
Yeah.
not speaking out of turn, Yana. No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mickey.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
Thank you, honey.
I loved this session today, Andrea, and I just want to really thank you for taking the time speaking us through our
Thank
giants.
you.
And I think it's even valuable for me. I literally took 3 pages of notes. So I loved what you said. I loved all the giants, and it makes me think of content that I need to create around my people that still holds them back from making the decision to do something for themselves. And one of the things you said is this thing of we're putting ourselves on the back burner. And I see that so many times as they've got time and money and energy for everybody else's goals. But when it comes to their own, it's like, no, I'll do it next year. Or let me first make money, or let me speak to my husband. But they're not pulling up a seat at the table because I feel like I come last. I don't come first. There's so many other things that needs to be done before I can get mine. And I really feel that God has. I listened to a video, and I posted it in the Unstoppable Faithpreneur Tribe of Steve Harvey, and he said something that
Oh
was
my
so true.
goodness, Yana.
Yeah, he
That
said,
was phenomenal.
your imagination, the vision that God gives you, He gives you that to remind you that there's more for you. There's more. You just need to take it. You just need to decide. Okay, I'm gonna do it. No, devil, I'm not listening to you. I'm listening to the promises of God. I'm looking at this vision. I'm looking at my imagination. Faith is the substance of the things unseen. So
Yes.
using my faith,
Yes.
affirming myself, getting into a community like this where there are women who we affirm each other in our purposes, so that we take these steps forward, even if it's baby steps, like Mickey said, even if I feel I'm too young, even if I feel I'm too old, even if I feel I'm not ready, even if I feel, Lord, I don't think I'm made for greatness. You know what? He has put this vision in us for a reason, and I'm so grateful, Andrea, for this session. And it was really
Oh,
valuable.
thank you.
So I
Thank
think
you.
this can become a regular thing. We'll still speak about it. I'm not here next week, but we'll definitely speak on doing this more regularly. I really think it's very
Maybe
valuable.
even just once a month, where we just really collect and we make a list of those giants that we've been facing, that we're butting up against, and we bring them to the table and we just slay them with each other, because my giants are your giants and your giants are my giants. And
True.
it's going to be very rare that we're not going to have similar giants.
Yeah.
They might wear a different outfit, but take off the clothes and they're the same underneath. I want to thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Anna.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. And for everyone that joined us today. So blessings to everyone.
Thank you very much.
Blessings.
Have a good weekend.
Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
ladies.
Bye-bye.